Hey, it's this classic episode. You know, the one where the Decepticons invade some kind of plant or factory, then try to tap the energy of the Earth's core using some kind of crystal? Seriously, guys, we're at episode 9 here. Do you really only have the 2 or 3 plot fragments? You'll never get a second season at this rate. Except, now it's years later, and we obviously know they did. And from what I recall of season 2, I'm going to be wishing they never did try to expand beyond their comfort zone. There's actually an episode coming up called The Girl Who Loved Power Glide. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Megatron, apparently inspired by Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, decides to ransack one of those cool ancient Aztec pyramids for, you guessed it, access to the Earth's core and unlimited energy. Quick side note, this is Prime Targets. It's a pretty decent little episode guide that I use from time to time as a reference for these things. I also flip through to make sure I haven't inadvertently stolen any of their jokes. Something they point out in their summary of this episode is that Megatron's super weapon, which this whole episode's based around, can only work at the top of that pyramid, which means the only way he can actually take out the Autobots with it is if he somehow convinces them to come all the way down to South America and stand right in front of it. Fortunately for him, they do just that. But since you obviously can't drive to South America, despite the fact that we've seen them drive to the Arctic Circle, they decide to go ahead and dig out Skyfire, last seen in episode 7, Fire in the Sky. If I were this guy, I'd seriously consider switching sides again, or maybe just abandoning all these jerks and flying to Hawaii or something. The rest of the plot is pretty standard. There's an attempted subplot involving Starscream and Thundercracker, but since the animators can't decide from scene to scene which one is Skywarp and which one is Thundercracker, it's hard to care. As a longtime Transformers fan, I've always felt a bit ashamed that I have a hard time telling these two apart, but episodes like this make me understand why. Neither of them has really given a strong, memorable personality, certainly not as memorable as, say, Starscream. So when the voices and colors are constantly switching around, you just kind of file them both under Jet That Isn't Starscream and move on. Shockingly, despite the fact that Megatron manages to lure the Autobots to an entirely different hemisphere and stand right in front of his unmovable doomsday weapon, he still manages to lose. Yeah, I didn't actually mean shockingly at all there. I meant surprising to absolutely no one. And now it's time for this week's science lesson. Despite never having invented the wheel, the Aztecs managed to tap into an energy source so powerful that it impresses even this advanced alien race of mechanical men. Thanks, Aztecs. Thaztecs.
The Autobot jet is afraid to fly.
Wrong again, you dipstick tape deck!